afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Deke Hardman. This is Fanting Talk. The actual version as well. Possibly the poorest pun on a points for punditry panel show, but still, here we are in happening London town, minutes away from BBC Broadcasting House, where we just witnessed Paul Sinner rightfully crowned champion. They said it couldn't happen, but a few of Fighting Talk's most enthusiastic followers / saddest geeks, delete as appropriate, have gathered to see how well these guys can emulate the likes of Mills, Sinner, Osman and Rawling and so on, and how I weigh up against Widdicombe. So without any further ado, let's meet the panel. Right, we'll go to my left first. My only request upon being selected to host this show was a bit of international flair, and it's been delivered. Being a professional wrestler and two-time Serbian International Rugby League player is impressive enough, but this guy has impressive FT credentials. The only man to ask a question to, both over the phone and at a live show. Put a former host in a headlock. He wrote his own intro. Plus a 100... Hold on, bring it back.
First man.
Okay, and a 100% defending defensible record after completing a face-off in Liverpool 5 years ago. Wolves is his team. Just think of Jim Smallman and Steve Bunce's clothes. It's the Iron Serb, James and Vukmirovic.
Close enough, I'll give you that. I've heard worse than
any false facts? See your introed. Okay, second, next up, a Liverpool fan who had hoped that he would be singing happy birthday to Steven Gerrard with about 40,000 others today, but thankfully for us, he's able to give us his undivided attention even. It's just as well as it was his bloody idea. Serial question to Oscar, and the only man in the BBC theatre not to be intimidated by Richard Osman, Phil Deere.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honour to be invited to take part in the inaugural episode of Fanting Talk. Although technically I wasn't invited, I just muscled my way to the front of the queue. Thank you, Deke.
Slightly closer to the man sitting next to him, but not too much. This guy is Northwest through and through. Born in Manchester and brought up in Wigan, it's no surprise that his two favourite sports are football and rugby league. Don't feel too intimidated with an international rugby league.
No, I'm not intimidated
by his side. No. He used to work in the electric supply industry. Before that was stripped and sold for parts, and he's also done some amateur dramatic stuff, seeing him cross paths with another of our panellists. Now we live in Berkshire, but that doesn't stop him supporting his beloved Manchester City. I asked him if he was a real Man City fan, and at the Man City Gillingham playoff final, but what were you doing instead?
I was at a dress rehearsal for Calamity Jane.
Point off for thespianism. Right.
I'm blemished thespianism.
So he's following his team when he's not tickling the ivories in the Pink Floyd tribute act. Platinum Floyd?
Yeah.
I guess it works. It's John Caley.
Hey. Thank you. Delighted to be here.
He said he's a rugby fan.
Get rid of that.
That's special.
Get rid of that. Okay, fourth and least, because it was the last bio that I received. We were desperate to create as I can't even talk.
He's doing well.
We were desperate to create as authentic an FT experience as possible. So say hello to your obligatory Arsenal fan. You may know him as the regular Friday football question setter on FT316. Around 70 teasers posted today, mostly controversial. This guy gets a lot of stick, but he's used to it because he happily admits that he went to see Take That back in the day. On his own? Was it on your own, Simon?
It's terrible to say. I actually was dating a girl at the time, and I got her the tickets for Take That for Valentine's Day, and the day before I was going to take her, I was dumped. So,
I once took an ex-girlfriend to see Rob Williams, that's fine. It was the last biography I received because he was auditioning for a play point off the thespianism.
I love Take That, they're great. Love it.
That's excellent. You're doing it, I get point off for a minute. Okay, Simon, you've got a mountain to climb. Unbelievable. I'm keeping score here, aren't I? Okay. Right, that's enough waffle for me. The fourth beer was probably not a good option. Let's just crack on with the questions here. Have we got any audio?
No.
Right.
I've got no audio for the questions at all. It's not that professional.
The bell has spoken. We'll just go with question one. With some of FIFA's senior officials finally getting their comeuppance this week, tell me, panel, who else or what else in sport should be against the law? James, I'm coming to you first.
Okay, well, against the law of the game, to me,
means that you should represent a country. I've been lucky enough to represent Serbia at Rugby League.
Point up for showing
And
up.
I would not dream of playing for another country. It's not really a viable option now, but bear with me. To me, it should be against the law to change your nationality in a sport, having represented another nation. I'll give you 4 examples, 3 from Rugby League, 1 from Rugby Union. Tony Carroll played for New Zealand in 2000, in the 2000 Rugby League World Cup. 2004, he was playing for Australia. Anthony Minicello and Anthony Franchi played for Italy in the Rugby League World Cup 2 years ago. Fine, okay, Italian names, they're Australian. They played for Australia years before. And Vainga Twigamala played for New Zealand, for the All Blacks.
Well said.
And then played for Samoa. Now, you could argue that they're playing for lesser nations, helping them out, but if you've played for that nation to begin with, frankly, that should be it. You shouldn't be allowed to change. That's just my opinion.
Point off, I believe in them. John.
Right.
There we go.
As Martin Kellner might say, here's one for the kids. France, World War II. The collaborationist...
We're carrying on.
The collaborationist Vichy government, composed of right-wing old fogies, old blazers, ex-colonels, banned rugby league, confiscated the assets of the organisation, which in the 1930s had become the most popular code of rugby in France. Now, yes. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should make rugby union illegal, but come the revolution, brothers. No, but I do think rugby league should get its act together. So many years now, Union have stolen everything League have done. The sin bins, substitutes, timekeepers, all that. But here's the thing. The first Rugby World Cup was held in 1954 by the Rugby League. It was years later that bloody Union got their fingers involved with it. And they have the cheek now to call theirs the Rugby World Cup. It should be illegal for them to call it that, and the Rugby League should sue them and get the copyright back on the original trophy. There you go.
Philip.
Okay, so if he got a hallelujah for that, then clearly the bar's set pretty low for this event. So now, first of all, I need to check, is there a red envelope for this? Because if there is, then I'm sure the obvious answer is going to be half and half scarves. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. But otherwise, and here's a serious point to start off, and bear with me on this. I've done some research, so Windows sound, please. According to Section 2, Subsection 1, thank you, of the Fraud Act 2006, a person commits a criminal offence punishable by up to 10 years in prison if they dishonestly make a false representation and intends, by making the representation, to make a gain for himself or another. A representation is false if it is untrue or misleading, and the person making it knows that it is or might be untrue or misleading.
Repetition.
Ladies and gentlemen, over to you. Just in case the FT lawyers are listening, I'm not going to add any names at this point, so please feel free to nominate your own defendants in your own minds. Thank you very much.
Right.
Are we still on air?
Simon. We're never on air.
Who else in sports be against the law? I was going to say Bernie Eccleston, but I'm going to say stupid fluorescent coloured football boots. I mean, how ridiculous are they? I've actually got a stat for you. Paulson, you are exempt from this. Who, ask you, who, to the panel, was the first player in the world, turn this off, to actually wear different coloured football boots from the ordinary black ones? No, the panel only, not you. Anyone?
Alan Ball.
Alan Ball?
Oh, right, yeah. And what colour were they?
White.
And what year was it?
1971.
No.
Have you got an off-key Wikipedia?
1970 in the Charity Shield match. Thank you very much. That's what you said.
71
But
seats.
since then, players and boot manufacturers have taken it to a whole new level. Almost they're competing to see who can wear the most lurid and ridiculous colours. I mean, in a match not long ago, Cristiano Ronaldo came on from Real Madrid and he was sporting a pair of lime green boots with a pink stripe. Now, come on.
Gorgeous.
That's a great combination. Yes, it is, isn't it? Well, looking at your shirt, obviously you agree with that. But obviously, what an idiot. The other things that annoys me, the players who wear them think that they signal them out as a good player by wearing these coloured boots. Once I saw this striker come on wearing these yellowed, lurid boots, he didn't score a goal, he was awful. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Nicholas Bentner. Alan Ball has a lot to answer.
Okay, I'm going to give you an extra point for sounding like John Chalice. Okay, question 2. We were unoriginal with question 2, but that's no offence to the lovely HGB sitting by us, but we've got an added twist, have we?
I think so.
Okay, we've got an added twist because Bruce is on the line.
Hello, Bruce.
G'day.
Is that on the line?
Points off for Bruce. We've got him.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, say as loudly as you can.
Go on, Bruce, ask your question.
Yes, ask your question.
With Fighting Talk off there and not back till August. Where'd you go to get your sporting fix this summer? Great work, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce. Splendid. Now bagger off, you drongo.
Let's go with Boise.
Thanks. Well, for me, there's only one thing to watch this summer, and it's going to be in the tennis. It's a Davis Cup. Great Britain versus France. Fantastic match. It's going to be at the Queen's Club. Now, it's a fantastic venue. It's going to be in July. Now, the thing is, we all hate the French, and as much as over the years they've been a better nation at tennis overall, over the recent years, but we're now progressing. We're doing really well. And the next round, coming up, we've got the likes of Cole Edmund being involved, Dan Evans. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, hopefully great weather. We've got the grass, the green, the Pims will be flowing. What better way to spend an afternoon?
James.
Right, well, maybe pandering slightly, but looking at some of the great events that are happening over the summer, you've got the World Athletics, you've got the tennis, you've got the cricket. The Tour de France, that wonderful event of doing a long, long lap around the country of France, which is starting this year in that mecca of cycling, Holland. And what gets me, I'm hoping it's not the King of the Mountain stage, because it'd be about that big mountain. But yeah, so a month of cycling around a beautiful country, ending with the big chase down Paris, that long straight down the Champs-Elysees, with Mark Cavendish involved. It's going to be epic and it's going to be big time.
So what you're saying is you really enjoy Men in Lycra?
Goes without saying.
Extra point for plugging the chase. John.
Well, I mean, obviously, posh people like Simon and Hannah have the summer season to look forward to. Ascot, Henley, Wimbers, and the Guards Polo.
Oh, laddie, yeah.
But further down, I would say, obviously, Super League is here all summer. The Magic Weekend's happening tonight, this very weekend in Newcastle. Culminates the grand final in October with New Zealand coming over, a 3-match tour. But also motorcycle racing. The Isle of Man TT starts today. Highlights on ITV4 at 9 p.m. every night this week. And there's meetings throughout the summer at great local venues like Donington, Oulton, Mallory Park, Oliver's Mount at Scarborough. A great spectacle, but people actually overtake each other in real races, unlike that boring crap Formula 1.
Point off for plugging ITV. There's only one left.
Okay, good evening, Bruce. Good to hear from you. Just a little bit. So, in honour of our champion of champion, beaten finalist, comrade Bob Mills, let me take you to the lower leagues. but not of football this year, of volleyball. So, over the third weekend in July, I will be joining over 1,000 volleyball players at the Whitefield International Volleyball Tournament in Bristol. The tournament's in its 41st year now and attracts players from all over the UK and Europe. Up until last year, the tournament was held at the hallowed grounds of the Rec in Bath, with the volleyball court set up on the adjacent cricket pitch, but with the participants camping on the actual rugby pitch. Now I tell you, any one of you used to camping in fields in the UK would love the feeling of sleeping on 8 inches of prime Bath topsoil. Now, the tournament has everything. It has fun, it has competition, it has year-on-year rivalry between teams, it has alcohol consumption, it has camping, it has grudge matches, it has alcohol consumption, it has camaraderie, it has late night sing-songs, it has alcohol consumption, it has good friendships. Did I mention we can have a drink or two? Now, entry to the tournament.
Time.
Sorry, we've got to go to the travel. Right. God bless.
Bruce's decision.
Right.
Bruce's bonus.
Where's the Brucey bonus go to?
We've lost the connection.
We've lost the connection.
I'll get it back.
Okay, we'll get it back. We'll come back to that.
Come back to Bruce.
But for now, we'll go on to question 3.
All right.
So,
Climax that.
okay, it's fine. It's a bit of suspense created. We like that. We like that. Mine's Goose Island if everyone's gone upstairs. Probably don't need it. Okay, question 3. FA Cup finals, what time is it? 2.5 hours away? 3 hours away?
3 hours.
Unbelievable scenes. Christian Benteke, first goal 10-1. Sorry, I write for a betting website. But I want you to channel your childhood, boys. I know you've all got 20 years on me, all of you, probably, just about.
How rude.
Okay, so, Phil, we're coming to you first. I want your favourite FA Cup memory.
Sorry, I've got written down here what was my worst FA Cup memory.
Your worst FA Cup memory.
Yes.
But point off
Hold on for me.
I'm afraid as a Liverpool fan it's going to be an obvious answer from me.
Paul Konchesky.
The 1988 FA Cup final. Now, everyone bangs on about Laurie Sanchez's goal, about the Culture Club being beaten by the Crazy Gang, but spare a thought for us poor souls watching from the red end of the spectator spectrum. Paul, you're with me on this, surely?
Well, kind of. We won the league by miles.
We did, but think about that day. I was deep into my A-levels at the time. I'd just done a particularly nasty economics multiple choice exam the day before. A Liverpool victory was going to spur me on to university and glory. I convinced my parents it was absolutely fine to let their 16-year-old son go down to the pub to watch the matches.
Go down.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I was devastated when we lost, especially when John Aldridge's penalty was saved by a member of the Hair Bear bunch. Still, I got 2 A's, a B and a C in my A-levels, so I obviously got over it. But please, stop banging on about it.
I actually mocked John Aldridge in his own bar for missing that penalty, and luckily he smiled and looked happier to be with my friend, the Tranmere fan, to get a photo taken with him than he did himself. Point off for not being grateful for being prepared for what was to come for the next 20 odd years. John!
Really? Still going?
Right, my worst FA Cup moment, there's 2 actually. They were both in May 1981. Saturday the 9th of May, the 100th FA Cup final at the old Wembley. Those were the days when there were no seats at all in the ends. We were stood up on a top tier at the far end. And it was City against Tottenham. In the first half, Tommy Hutchinson rose like a leaping swallow and scored a beautiful, brilliant header. Didn't score many with his head.
Swallows leap?
Salmon, swallow, whatever.
Swallows, salmon.
Who cares? And then the second half, well, we were coasting basically, and then one of the two thugs we bought that season, Bobby McDonald and Jerry Gow, brought down someone on the edge of the box. Up stepped Glenn Hoddle to take this free kick, walloped it in, bounced off Tommy Hutchinson's backside and screwed into the net. So that was it. Tommy Hutchinson, first guy to score 2 goals in a cup final, one in each end. Coming out, well, the worst thing... No, I was there, mate. And worst thing was coming out afterwards, because no segregation in there, and as I said, the viewers crap, so all the Spurs fans coming out. Hey, mate, did you see Hoddle's free kick? Wasn't it fucking brilliant? They say, no, it bounced off Hutchinson's fucking ass. Come on, that was that brilliant. Anyway, we reassembled on the Thursday, and again, Ricky Villa scored a fluky first goal. Then Steve McKenzie volleyed in the ultimate best goal ever scored in an FA Cup final, bar none. Saw the bloody BBC web poll this week, which had some Matteo or something, I don't know who it was. And then, of course, they scored again, some non-entity interviewer chappy, and then we got Kevin Reeves' penalty, and then bloody Villa, fluky git, swaddling round like a bloody fairy, mincing through our defence, who should have hacked him down at the first opportunity, scored that so-called best goal ever. Bollocks. Worst cup final goal in history.
Point off to swearing in front of a child Tottenham fan who doesn't know who Ricky Villa is. But, point back on for channeling John Cooper Clark. James.
Right, well, being a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan, FA Cup moments are few and far between. I've seen us get beat by Luton in the third round when they were non-league. That was, we were a crap side anyway, it didn't really matter. I've seen us get beat in FA Cup semi-final. It's disappointing, but we lost to Arsenal, they won the double, wasn't so bad. My memory goes back to March 1995. We had by our standards, quite epic cup run up to that point, and we were 4th in the old First Division, looking good for promotion. We beat Mansfield in the third round, having been 2-0 down at half-time, and on the barrel of going down. We beat Sheffield Wednesday in one of the best FA Cup games I've ever seen. Paul Jones, the penalty save machine, saving Chris Williams twice.
Oh, what a hero Chris Williams is.
And the definitive one from Chris Waddle. And then we beat Premiership Leicester in the 5th round. We were looking good, we were confident. We got relegation for the Crystal Palace in the quarter-finals. Went to Selhurst Park, went a goal down, equalised, we thought fine. We'll take it back to Molineux and we'll do them like we did Wednesday, like we did Leicester. Didn't start off well, and it got worse from there. Chris Armstrong scored 2 of the most ridiculous goals you'll ever see. An overhead kick, and one which got stuck in the stanchion of the goal. Then Ian Dowie, with a full head of hair and his beautiful looks and everything, scored a quite fantastic volley. Darren Pitcher scored from bloody miles out. And just to sort of dampen, burst your balloon, Crystal Palace 4, Wolves 1, and we didn't get promoted either. It's like therapy, this, isn't it?
Oh. Do you know what, mate? I've done therapy, and if therapy was like that, it would have pushed me over the edge. Sorry.
Oh man, me too. I was going to say the 2001 FA Cup final when Michael Owen scored a late winner against my team, which I know Phil and Paul Sinner over there will probably admit that we totally dominated that match. We did.
Great game.
And it wasn't terrible. It was awful for me. Awful. But I am going.
2001 Cup final, Paul.
Oh yes. Awful. Terrible.
What a game.
But it's not my worst moment. Without doubt, the worst moment was when I turned up with some uni mates when I was at Brunel. We're out in Richmond. We'd had a few drinks, admittedly. So a bit worse for wear. To a pub to see the semi-final replay between ourselves and Man United in 1999. It was horrible. I'm not talking about Bergkamp's missed penalty, which was horrible. I'm not talking about having I'm not talking about having to acknowledge. No, it was a great goal, one of the best FA Cup moments. When Giggs scored that goal. It was fantastic. What I'm talking about is to witness Ryan Giggs taking his shirt off, scoring it after whirling it around his head. And for me and the rest of the public were forced to see his ridiculous hairy chest. It's the worst celebration ever. That's my worst FA Cup moment. I'm still in counselling.
Let's all have a pina colada and go to the Nag's Head. Okay. This isn't written down, but it gives me an absolute pleasure to decide to say this one's a quickie, because Jesus. Okay. Question 4, 4 words. Sports people as biscuits. John.
Well, here we go.
Here we go.
No, the question was 4 words. The answer's considerably... No, it's not actually that longer. First one, Gordon Taylor, Players' Union, Tuck Biscuit, Trades Unionist, TUC. See?
Good.
Right, okay.
John, if you have to explain it, it's not funny.
Well,
John,
the youngsters here will never have heard of the TUC. You know, and when his government's finished with the bloody unions, you'll never hear of them again.
I'd like to say to you, mate, this is an education, but it's not a good one.
But of course, after that, I'm not going to take out the sports person. I'm going to take out the whole sport, and that is NBA basketball, which is an Oreo. An Oreo, compared to most British biscuits, it looks different, original, and perhaps interesting, but actually, it's bland, boring, American, and crap.
Point off for not using the word dumb. Okay. Phil.
Okay, well, after seeing video of Louis van Gaal's speech the other day, he's clearly a Maryland cookie full of nuts. On a slightly serious note, John Flanagan, Liverpool
Said no one ever.
is a broken biscuit. I've just learned that having been out the whole of the season with a serious knee injury, he's had to have surgery again. He's going to be out for another 9 months. So get well soon, John, and fair play for Liverpool for extending his contract. So John Flanagan is a broken biscuit.
Yeah.
Right.
James, just put this biscuit back together, mate.
Right. Well, ginger snaps. That's Gordon Strachan the next time Scotland lose.
Hey!
Rich tea biscuit. Nice sturdy biscuit, but melts under pressure when the heat is on. Tony O'Shea. He's never won a major final in darts, including 3 world finals. And going a bit homewards, plasma biscuits from Serbia. They're Serbian, sturdy, and good for your health's defence. Branislav Ivanovic.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We love
That's
Branislav.
just make up biscuits.
No, Simon needs to answer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Tim Henman, a digestive, a good, honest English biscuit, but prone to crumble under pressure. Olympia Giroud. It's one of those Belgian fancy biscuits you get in assortments. Looks great, but it's disappointing when you take it out of the box. Jessica Ennis-Hill. Jessica Ennis-Hill. A chocolate hobnob, always does the job and delivers. And makes most men dribble just a little bit.
Sorry, extra point for the improvement note from Paul Simmons.
Steve Davis, one of those, the nice biscuit, very boring, but the nation still loves it.
Point off for going too far. Okay.
Can I just say, by the way, I have deviated slightly and got FT316 members as biscuits, if you'll indulge me a moment. So we've got,
no points.
So we've got Graham Bagshaw is a wagon wheel. You think it should be American, but it clearly isn't. Dr. Kenneth is a Tunnocks tea cake. You don't see them for ages, but you're really glad when you do. And of course, just in case this gets broadcast, I'm not mentioning any names, but FT316 has, of course, quite a few fun sponge fingers. Right, ready?
Right, points update. Right, folks, I'd like to say the halfway point, but we're not quite there. God knows why Paul Simmons stood this out. He's got much better things to do. In 4th place, it's John with 14 points. In 3rd place, it's the Iron Serb with 15. And in the lead joint, it's Big Phil and Simon. Applause.
I've got
Extra point for John. He's back in the game. A point for profanity. That's what we should have called this.
absolutely right.
Points for profanity. Okay, right. I'd love to skip a question.
Yeah, go and skip one.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm skipping 6. We'll go with 5. Okay, question 5. Today, the BBC is FA Cup related TV programmes all day, just like the old days. Didn't do it in my day, did it in their day. What other sports events deserve the same treatment?
Who to? You ask someone.
James.
Right. Well, you've got the FA Cup day. Why not the Rugby League Challenge Cup final day?
Yeah.
Oh, not predictable at all.
Go with what you know. It works best. You could have Eddie and Steve-O from Sky. They could work on BBC for the day. They could have their morning chit-chat, which would take about 3 hours because Steve-O wouldn't get to the point. You'd have chappers at the team's hotels walking to them going, "Hello, I'm Mark Chapman. I'm obviously quite important. Would you like to talk to me?" "No, got better things to do than talk to you."
Hallelujah for Sagloff chappers.
Helen Skelton, she could be stood there in a Helen Skelton way going, "Hiya," speaking to people on the Wembley Way and being surprised there are people from south of Warrington who like rugby league. And history of the Challenge Cup final all day, just make it as big as possible thing. The game might be a colossal letdown like today might be, but hey, I'd enjoy it.
Is Serbia south of Warrington?
Yes.
That's what I needed to know. John.
Sure about that. Okay. Well, taking a particularly narrow view of the question, which specifically mentions the BBC, you have to think what sports the BBC actually still cover, which ain't many. Not just what they cover, but what they don't already go totally overboard about. Like, Wimbledon, which already gets all-day coverage on 2 channels. Or the keys to snooker. I mean, look how they use the World Championships at Sheffield as an excuse to drag any old crap show up there. Anyway, I suggest the boat race. Because outside of the establishment, nobody cares about this Victorian relic which sees 2 crews of hunky Americans doing all the work while 2 little English blokes steer the boats. It needs to regain its popularity. Make a whole day of it. Have a flotilla, like the Jubilee thing. Get the Royals involved, rowing from the Tower of London to Hampton Court. Have supporting races with pedal loads and things like that. Get Flint off there. And of course, the race itself, just have random swimmers coming along as obstacles.
Because what we really need is a day of posh students.
Yes. We'll have that. Simon.
Can I say, can you make question 6 the podcast question?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Question 5, I've got nothing on. I was going to say, England versus New Zealand. Did anyone see the last Test match? One of the best Test matches.
I was busy.
Are you been?
I was busy that day.
He was busy, but fantastic.
Point off the pub.
Pandering.
I don't know what the score is. Can someone check? But
91 for naught.
there you go.
Point back for pub.
Thank you. Headingley is one of my favourite grounds for cricket.
Point for Sinner.
Sinner's got a signal.
Sinner's winning again.
We can't all be blessed with internet connections, can we?
I think it's a fantastic ground for cricket, full of spin.
What?
Like, you get to spend the whole day. You can turn up 8 o'clock and then you have drinks 8 o'clock. Spend a whole day there, and as far as I'm concerned, the best thing about it is FIFA are not involved.
Finishes off Phil because of a happy ending.
FIFA for the day.
Allegedly.
You cheap, crowd-pleasing tarts.
We're in a pub, so I think darts. I mean, apart from Richard Osman's excellent attempt to reintroduce darts for the masses earlier this year, where is he? I get bonus points. We often forget about darts as the summer approaches. Attention turns to outdoor drinking games like chasing a small ball around the field, also known as golf. Sitting in the field all day drinking beer, also known as cricket. But darts is a sport for the masses, and before any of you go, it's not a sport, it's a pastime. Just remember 2 things. 1, darts are pointy, and 2, Richard Osmond and I are both bigger than you.
Right.
So we're going to have an evening devoted to darts. We're going to have a documentary about throwing games throughout the ages. We're going to invite Colin back for a game of trust darts.
Point off for mentioning Colin.
We're going to have a retrospective about the changing circumference of Phil Taylor. And we're going to conclude with the episode of Not the 9 O'Clock News, featuring Di Fat Belly Gut Bucket and Tommy Even Fatter Belly Belcher.
Hang on, sorry.
You had a point off for mentioning that fella who's dead to us. You got another point off for mocking the obese, and another point off for putting an extra letter on Richard Osman's name.
Well, there you go.
Are you mocking my Essex accent, Mr. Hardman?
I'm just glad you got my name right. Okay. Question 7. Festival season is fast approaching. Woo woo. I was at festival last weekend. Sound City in Liverpool. A lovely city. Ben and Sebastian. Go see them. They're better than you think they'd be. So which sports people would you like to see on stage? Come on, I believe in redemption. Phil, pull it back.
Okay. Well, one thing that really annoys me about going to concerts is that I've paid good money to listen to a performer singing their greatest hits, of course introducing me to their new material. But this is often ruined by people singing along. I didn't pay to hear that. If I wanted that, I would have gone to a karaoke bar. So please sit down, shut up and listen to the artist. Having said that, my idea for the answer to this question is that if we did hold a festival, I should put my hang-ups to one side, focus on the needs of the masses. And so in the spirit of mass participation, let's celebrate the events taking place at Wembley later this afternoon and celebrate the magnificence of the long-forgotten Great British FA Cup final song. So, the 1989 Liverpool squad singing the Anfield Rap.
Oh, so close.
The 1994 Man United squad singing
I thought it was the
Come On, You
88
Reds.
Liverpool squad.
And in honour of Rachel in the front row, after 3, come on everyone.
Aussie's gone to Wembley, his knees have gone all trembly. Come on, you Spurs, my bell has broke.
Thank you.
One off for not mentioning 1998 Hot Stuff by Arsenal featuring Donna Summer. Was she involved? She should have been. Simon.
I'm going.
No, I want a verse from that song, please.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm going for a football-based group for me. This is the group I want to perform with on stage. Roman Abramovich on guitar. When it comes to sacking managers, he's the ultimate Axeman.
Good.
John Terry on violin. I've heard he likes a fiddle.
Allegedly.
The croaky.
It's alright, the BBC aren't on.
The croaky deep vocals of Sean Dyche. Come on.
All the bigamists are available.
And of course, Sepp Blatter on the wobble board. Cheesy, out of date, now even more offensive and should be put out of my misery.
Listen, that's textbook.
Sepp Blatter, every answer. There you go.
I know. What's he done to get in everyone's mind?
I don't know.
John Boy.
Right, well, obvious answer is Andy Murray singing Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, but well, literally, where would be the fun in that? So, now this one might be in dubious taste, but as was mentioned before, I do play in a Pink Floyd tribute band, and their greatest albums...
Good night, God bless Simon.
See you, Simon, mate.
Pleasure, mate, absolute pleasure. Well done on today, mate.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
He goes on a bit too long, so I might have to...
I know, yeah.
Why don't you got my trophy, yeah?
Simon, I'll forward you my business card. Cheers, lads. Nice one. Well done.
You have to start again, John.
Sorry, John. You understand why that had to happen?
I do understand why that should happen.
Can someone run and give him my business card?
So, right, so I said it anyway. Now, Pink Floyd, their greatest album ever was, of course, The Dark Side of the Moon. And one of
The Wall.
whatever. The one that made their name, which was on the American charts for 12 years, was Dark Side of the Moon. And one of the things, of course, in that was the sound effects and the random voices interlinked in. So, my suggestion is Gaza to do some of the voiceover effects. In particular, the one... I've been mad for fucking years. I know I'm mad, I've always been mad, and of course, I don't know, I was really drunk at the time.
Points up for swearing.
Yeah. Kids buy
It was quoting that was.
Points up for accents.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know Gazza was from Pakistan.
Oh, yes.
We all like Pink Floyd, but we don't need no education. James.
Right, your FT Music Festival lineup. On the drums, a man who will probably not be doing anything for the next few months and likes to hit things, Dylan Hartley. On bass, the quiet man, the misunderstood man, the man who would rather be in the back than at the front, Phil Neville.
Yes.
On guitar,
Brilliant.
you want someone who's going to be up there, he's going to be flash, he's going to be brash. Usain Bolt is your man. You want someone who is comfortable singing in public and doesn't mind looking like it's hit in public, so Phil Brown. And to complete the ensemble on percussion, just because I can, Robbie Savage on kazoo.
You had me until Phil Brown. I don't know how much power I've got, but I really need the loo and a beer. So can we have 5 minutes? I know this is dragging, but can we have 5? Is that all right? Okay, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah, news and
I need a theme tune to go to the toilet. So.
News, sports and travel.
Okay, that's cool.
Mark.
I insisted on my own theme tune.
Start the second half.
Let's milk it. I'm glad we applauded.
PC Boys manager, that'd be
Point. Oh God.
I'm trying to find the next bit. No, it's not that one. Shut up. No, shut up.
Technical difficulties.
What's Arsenal? Right, hang on. No, this is what. Do you want to do scores? Or we go next question?
We'll go straight with the next question, shall we? Come on. We're not got all day. Golden envelope is back.
Without the envelope.
No, we had an envelope.
I gave it.
I was sourced an envelope from HTV. I've lost it, but I know the answer. It's fine. So nice and simple to start with. Who in sport? There it is.
Oh, really? What's the man?
So I need to write the answer.
Stylish.
How am I going to do this without anyone seeing? Avert your eyes. Avert your eyes.
Shut your eyes, everybody.
Hannah, make sure they're not looking.
Meanwhile,
It's great
Do you want
radio,
to do?
isn't it?
It's great radio.
Yeah.
Just make sure we all close our eyes or something.
that's an interesting shout.
My shout. Okay.
You've got a sound effect.
Your shout. Okay.
Not for golden envelope. No.
Okay. Right. Golden envelope. Beige. Manila. Okay. So who in sport retired too early? Phil Deere.
Okay, well, it was mentioned earlier on, Gary Lineker's excellent documentary the other night. It reminded me all too poignantly of the story of Fabrice Muamba. So here's a young player in his prime suddenly collapsing during an FA Cup quarter-final. We sometimes forget this guy was actually dead for 78 minutes. And if it wasn't for Andrew Dina, a cardiothoracic surgeon, he probably wouldn't be here today. He's gone on to do media work, coaching work. Strictly, of course. He's a gentleman and a role model, and in these days of hyper-inflated footballers' salaries, he's a great example for us of the fine line between success and tragedy. So I think
I'll argue with that.
Well said. Simon.
Follow that. I was going to say Lennox Lewis, because even now, at his age, I think he could take out the current crop of heavyweights that currently are out there. But even, I regret to say this because he destroyed us in quite a few games, I'm going to say Eric Cantona. Surprised the footballing world while retiring at probably the peak of his powers at the age of 30 years old, and then going on to have a rather odd cameo film career and playing professional beach football. For this reason alone, though, because of that, he will never, in my opinion, rank as number one as one of the foreign exports in Premiership football.
John
Sound
Boy.
effect. I think they should retire this Wainwright's beer because it's gone off, but they're...
Go with the goose. Go with the goose.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Hey,
whatever.
it's a bit vinegary, if you ask me.
What's your vital points?
Anyway, who in sports retired too early? I basically think all the former England cricket captains who turn up on TV and radio, like Lloyd, Atherton, Gower, both of them.
no, they just think they've retired.
And, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? I nearly swore then. And especially Boycott. who still think they know better, they could captain the side better, they could even play better. My granny could have caught that in a minute, and the teams are actually watching. So if you're so bloody good, come back and do it.
It's like he's in the room, isn't it?
Finishes off, mate.
I can't follow Phil's. That's absolutely marked spot on. But I still go to one of the sports that I've watched for years. I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed Formula One. I know some people don't, but I do. And I've always thought it was a shame Mark Webber retired when he did.
Channeling Widdicombe.
I've always thought it was a shame that Mark Webber left when he did. He's not retired from motorsport per se, but he was great in Formula One. He was your basic, straight-talking Aussie who didn't take any crap. And even with the teammate that he had, Sebastian Vettel, who was that successful and annoyed him that much, you wanted to see if he kept going. Would he actually got the better of him? We'll never know because he left when he did. And Vettel hasn't won the World Championship since. Coincidence? Maybe.
Well,
lovely answers from all. Can't really argue with anyone. No one likes Jeffrey Boycott, do they? No, I didn't think so.
I love him.
I can't not throw his answer either, but someone has got the golden envelope.
Really?
And I thought not because, let's be honest, all of us, including you lad, I've probably got the least sports knowledge. I know nothing other than football. 2 extra points for Simon. And upside down Eric Cantona.
Where's 5 points off?
Sorry?
5 points off the red envelope.
It's gold.
goal envelope.
Oh, come on, mate.
That was goal, not red.
Points off to Darren.
Points off for Darren for far better. Okay.
Points off from the red bastard in the golden envelope. Well, there you go.
Simon, I'm delighted you went for that because I thought this is such a lazy answer, but brilliant. We're both lazy together. Let's have a lazy Sunday.
That's going for a red bastard, for God's sake.
Right, score update. Okay, bringing up the rear is John. God knows how.
I like to ring up the rear.
Ooh, that's
Calm down, Paul.
So yeah, the serve is 28 in third place and in joint first place. We've got Big Phil and thanks to those extra 2 points. Simon, shake that hand. It can all change as we're going into the final third. You're a point behind the top, mate.
Alright, happens the right wing bias.
John's got work to do. Okay. So who else in sport is potentially guilty of skullduggery? Simon, I'll come to you first.
Skullduggery means Arsene Wenger supposedly poisoning the Sarniers of the entire Spurs team in 2006.
Yeah.
What a gift.
Guilty as proven.
And they lost 2-1 to West Ham. And also meant they lost a Champions League place they so craved above Arsenal. They didn't get it. Very funny, very lame. And 20 years they still have not finished above Arsenal. 20 years, I'm just saying.
Phil!
Okay, playing volleyball on Thursday night, I got smashed in the volleyball.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no lasting damage. Some would say an improvement, and no blood. But that immediately reminded me of Bloodgate.
Awful.
April 2009.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
6 years ago now.
We're all well old.
Cheating union types, yeah.
Faked blood injury. Investigation turned out this had happened 4 times before.
Rugby union for you.
Well, rugby's always touted.
Union.
Game for gentlemen with odd-shaped balls. I've got a nephew who plays union semi-professionally. I have seen that boy shed real blood.
I think I've seen his balls.
Point off for taking this into a false sense of security.
People like Tom Williams, Dean Richards, even the club doctor Wendy Chapman, they've tarnished the reputation of a great game. They should hang their heads in shame.
It's good answer.
Just as poetic justice, Leinster won the game 6-5.
Great answer. James.
Let's go even further back. Let's go back to the 1982 World Cup. Let's go back to the Anschluss game, the disgrace of Gijón.
Is it only yours two?
Yes. West Germany versus Austria. West Germany had previously lost to Algeria, and through a weird set of games, Germany had to beat Austria by 1 or 2 goals to go through.
Okay.
So 10 minutes in, West Germany attack, Horst Rubesch scores a header. Then that is it. Nemas, no more. Nothing happened for the rest of the game. They boosted it about, they kicked it about, that was it. The commentators gave up on both sides, Germany and Austria. The fans of the stadium booed, and the team that got screwed the most were the Algerians. They went out shopping, they realised the fix was on, but they went out as a result. The long-term ramifications, though, are that since then, in the World Cup, the last set of group games are played at the same time. So, in theory, the fix won't happen again. But I remain to be convinced.
Actually, I'll give you 2 for that.
And John.
Right, the question was, who in sport is guilty of skullduggery? And the answer,
for repeating.
and the answer, of course, is nobody. Sport only succeeds when there's a level playing field and the officials and organisations are above suspicion. To suggest that circumstances may be different to that is an insult to the integrity of athletes and their governing bodies. I think you should be ashamed to even ask the question. The likes of UEFA, FIFA and the IOC work tirelessly to eliminate corruption in all their forms, and very successfully too. If you take the case of FIFA, we should celebrate and congratulate Mr Blatter on his re-election, because since he became president, a new scandal has been discovered virtually every year, with rogue members arrested or banned from the sport, culminating this week's event. So what further proof do you need of the great job that he is doing? Long may he continue, and shame on you for casting aspersions.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Why not for defending the indefensible too early?
Whatever.
Yes, please.
I didn't threaten to put Blatter in every answer.
Right.
Quick
Quick score update before we do any other business. Okay, there's 4 points in it. It's very exciting. John, unsurprisingly, after that nonsense, of 34. Simon, you're on 35. Iron Serbs on 36. And Big Phil is in the lead with 38. As we go into any other business, we'll start with our leader. It's Phil Deere. Sorry.
Okay, now, I referenced it earlier on. I'm a student of good English. Despite my Essex accent, I am the product of a classical education. So I'm hoping that Hannah will relate in specifics to this. I phoned the call centre of a well-known DIY chain yesterday to order some bits to do some work on my mum's house. My mum's recovering from some surgery. The first couple of things that I said to the guy, his response was excellent.
That's what I was thinking.
So I started a little 5-bar gate, you know, the little tally marks that you do on your desk pad. So I started counting up the number of times that this guy said the word excellent. The call ended 13 minutes later with the total excellent count of 142 excellents.
Fingers lit.
Excellent.
Now, we're always told when we phone a call centre that calls are recorded for training and quality purposes. Well, I hope that they play this call back to this guy so that he can hear how often he said the word excellent.
Excellent.
How wrong it was to
Very
respond
strong.
to the news that my mum had broken her leg with the word excellent. But most importantly, folks, to save this poor chap from the prospect of the rest of his career wearing out his vocal cords every time he makes a call and says 426 superfluous syllables.
Whoa.
I like it. Simon?
2 words. Tomato soup.
Next. John?
It's got out of hand. When I was a youngster, in the 1990s, it was just tomato soup. You buy tomato soup with a bit of bread, it was lovely. Now it's got to have, it's tomato soup, you can get it with chilli. Tomato soup with garlic. Tomato soup with garlic and chilli. Tomato soup with paprika. Tomato soup with basil.
Point for Basil. I was waiting for Basil.
Basil.
Tomato soup.
Basil's the American code.
It's just ridiculous. Tomato soup, wine. Who cares? We love, as a nation, tomato soup is an institution to us. Why are they doing this to us? Leave tomato soup alone. It is great as it is.
Cheers, Kelner. Right, James.
His head's gone.
There is something out there that does bug me somewhat.
James, don't mess this up, mate. You're on a good streak here.
There's a certain thing out there that bugs me, and it's nihilistic viewing. As in, viewing something,
Boy, it's my favourite
consuming
word.
something, or listening to something you passionately hate, just so you can whinge about it. I had somebody the other day saying, "Oh my God, it's terrible. I was forced to sit at home and watch Britain's Got Talent." Leave the room! Read a book! Put your bloody MP3 player on, use the internet! Go off and have one. No, don't do that actually. But for God's sake, don't consume it. I don't particularly care for Taylor Swift,
for
and
not
guess what?
advocating suicide.
I don't listen to her. And by the way, that blank space she's singing about, that's the space between her ears.
Well,
John.
right, I was going to have a rant about the M6 toll and specifically those people who get to the toll booth and find it's a massive surprise when they get to it and think they have to pay some money. But no, because this morning a message arrived on my Facebook page. So this is a rant about Facebook. Now, this isn't Facebook in general, because I know that's what's brought us all here.
Yeah, come on, let's be honest.
What's brought us together here today, which is marvellous. Hallelujah, thank you. It's people who post pictures on Facebook.
Point for Mark Zuckerberg.
Right? 2 weeks ago, I went to Rhodes on holiday, and when I got back, as I posted on Facebook, as I've discovered, I've taken 1,150 photos on me camera and 100 on my phone, and I'll post them all for you very shortly. I said, which I wasn't going to. I was taking the piss out of these photos. I have 3 friends who are professional photographers. And when, 3 friends, and they're all professional photographers. What a coincidence is that? No, when they post a picture, you know it's worth looking at. But I've got this other guy who thinks he's a great photographer, and he loves 80s and 90s pop groups. He goes to all these crap rewind festivals and things, and he will post 30 and 40 photos of every bloody act. And this morning I woke up there on my phone. He went to see Richard Digance last night, right? Richard Digance, he's a bloke. Digance, whatever his name is. He's a bloke who plays guitar, right? A folk singer, basically. 25 bloody pictures he posted of this git. How many, standing up, sitting down, singing, talking. That's 4 pictures. You don't need to post 25. Have some quality control, people. Self-censor, edit what you put on Facebook.
John, what are your views on Crowded House?
Crowded House are fab. I like them. I saw them when they were split ends, supporting.
I was so ready to lose all your points, but you might have made the final.
Lindy's fine in Newcastle. It was great. They came on black and white stripes.
Point for Crowded House.
Yeah.
Okay. Neil Finn's my hero.
Finn brothers, yes.
Right. So.
AOB done.
Are done? Let's do a final scores.
Deke, we've got the QT points.
Blimey.
If I do one more question, actually. Should we do one more question?
No, I've got a tiebreaker. It's fine.
No.
Right.
Let's do scores and then we do time.
Right. Okay. Scores is missing. Have we got names?
Sorry.
Just how have you got names?
Missing out, despite his love for Neil Finn and Crowded House, we should have seen him win the trophy.
Come on.
It's John.
No, you weren't counting me teams.
Winning straight through to the final is Big Phil with 44, but we've got a tie break between James and Simon. Coming from a pub quiz background, I'm going to give you the best tie break that I know. It's nothing to do with sports, so forgive me, but I want you to write on your piece of paper. You've got 10 seconds. Hannah will give you some paper.
No, it's on your
It's
tablet,
nothing to do with
Simon.
sport. It's the first thing that comes to my mind. I've done 400 pub quizzes. This is my favourite tiebreaker. Nothing to do with sport. I want you to tell me in 10 seconds. Don't discuss it. Just pass me a piece of paper. Write your name on it. How many times did the B-52s say Love Shack in the song Love Shack?
I don't think I need to write the names on it, to be honest, Cause
Yeah, gather it. You've got 5 seconds. Thank you. This is for the final.
See 4 numbers before you have to answer this.
Okay.
See 4
Oh,
numbers.
for fuck's sake, they've both put 35.
Right, Phil the winner. There's no point.
Unbelievable. The answer's 40, so it's a good shout.
They're both lost then.
It's a good shout. Alright, we'll do another one.
They're both lost and I'm in the final.
We'll do another one. Right, really, this is lazy. Right, you ready? How old am I? Come on.
94.
Are we in human years or dog years?
Yes, that's what I was saying.
They're on the 35 again.
35 and 35.
It's literally no play your cards right, it's whoever's closest.
But they're both the same distance away.
Wow. James, are you
Is it 35 again?
are you sleeping alone tonight, mate? James has gone for 24. Hey! How many have you had? Simon's gone for 32. It's a shame because I really wanted James in the final. It's 30. Simon's in the final. I did all I could for you, James. Even moisturised. A little too much, you might say. Right, defend the indefensible.
You're sleeping at home tonight, sweetheart.
He was getting moist for you.
Alright,
There you go.
defend the indefensible is when I give a ridiculous statement that is completely false and absurd. The two contestants have to defend it no matter what I say. They have not seen the question in advance.
True, we haven't seen it.
Close. As the winner, as the outright winner, Phil, you can decide whether you want to go first or second.
I will go, as it worked for Paul, I'll go second.
Okay. So, Simon.
No.
Okay. We're doing the bottom one for Simon. So, Simon, you've got 20 seconds, and everyone listen because it's a voting audience. Cities without bus services and no coffee shops open at 7 a.m. should have Sepp Blatter as their matter to sort things out, as their mayor to sort things out.
Absolutely right. Sepp Blatter is the most amazing man. He's just been re-elected in the 5th season for his tenure. He sorts out the buses in this city are absolutely disgusting. We need to have a corrupt system that he supervises to make sure that the bus system is better.
One word, Phil. Beatable.
Yeah. It was pretty awful.
Phil, tribute versions of Fighting Talk should be banned as it devalues the main show.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this. They've really scraped the bottom of the barrel with the four of us.
Yeah.
You've got a failed wrestler, a failed rugby league fan, a failed actor, and a failed training consultant. We should be out enjoying ourselves, having fun on a Saturday afternoon. We're in here. We can't hold a candle to our real champion.
A failed volleyball player. Yay! I don't think we need to bother with
We
that.
don't need to do the voting.
No, we don't need to do the
As it should be, Phil has won. I'm available for average bar mitzvahs.
Cheers, mate. Well done.
Pleasure. Cheers, everyone. That was fun. That was more fun than I thought it would be. So cheers. Now let's just have some proper fun without this nonsense.
Yeah, some decent beer.
Cheers, thank you, everyone.
That was great.
Let's go. Phil!
Yeah, well done, Paul.
Get Paul to present it.
Paul!
Get Paul to present
Paul!
it. Get some
We do the
photos.
honours.
What's the post-show photos as well?
Post-show photos. The two, you know.
The real champion.
No, it's not for you, pal. Hang on. 2, 3, cheers. Cheers.
That's amazing. Paul, cheers for sticking around.
I have nothing else to do.
I know, mate, but it's good, isn't it?
So we gathered.
Paul, if you can't find anything else to do other than listen to me harp on, fucking fair play to you, mate. So fair play, brilliant. Well done, everyone. Big well done to Jason, because that's amazing what he did with the soundboard. That's really good work. HTV, who's going to fly to America in like half an hour. Simon, Phil, John,
behind
James.
you.
I'm still clapping.
Well done to the ladies and well done to the
Cheers, everybody. That was amazing. That was so much fun. Well done, everyone. Let's pack it up.
Zoidberg left the fun sponge.
Who finished last?
That will be me then.
You left the fun sponge.
Can I really? Oh, I'm so glad I came.
Oh, that was